Welkom terug bij de Experience Conference. En wat goed dat je nog steeds kijkt. Als het goed is helemaal energized. En we zijn alweer op de helft van het programma. En we gaan door naar onze volgende gast. Ulrike Tondorf, Head of Life Experience and Branding. En ik spiek even naar de titel van de Duitse farmaciereus Bayer. Dus ik schakel daarom weer even over in het Engels. Hello Ulrike.
Hi.
Hi. Can I take my seat? Great to have you on our show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Ulrike, an impressive job title. Can you first explain to us briefly what it is what you do at Bayer?
So we are responsible for live communication and experience branding for all strategic realizations. So it's about ambient branding, it's about outdoor branding, it's about experience branding and all of that. So not only events and exhibitions, if it comes to that, it's more about the strategy behind, and we then work with our internal colleagues to realize these.
So quite a wide scope, I would say.
Yes, it is.
All right.
It's interesting, you know.
Yes, definitely interesting. Okay. Hey, Ulrike, it was only days before the corona crisis hit Europe when we had our meeting and we discussed the Live Communication Index, the LCI, let's say the Bayer approach on impact for events, ROI. Could you maybe briefly elaborate a little bit on that LCI by Bayer? What is it and what does it do?
You may know ROI as a name, right?
Of
so
course.
we actually changed it to LCI. This, for us, it's about the life impact, the media impact, and the investment, and how to look into these three components and their qualitative and quantitative elements that are in, right? So talking about life impact, it's the live reach and the immediate impression. The media impact, it's the media reach, even in social media and other channels, the tonality and awareness score. And we then actually are able to put these into relation with the investment. So, in the second step, we are able to look into these numbers for a row of events to see what changed, what do we need to change, what do we need to focus on.
Okay, so quite a well-balanced approach to ROI. Normally, what you see often is that there are companies focus on the media revenues and the media impact, but you add, in fact, two other dimensions.
We do. So it's not only about one of these elements. It's more about we are actually creating experiences and try to make our brand tangible. So with this, you need to know whether that works out well or whether you need to change things.
Yeah.
So that's why we actually also need these two other impressions and information.
Interesting. Thanks for sharing. And as I mentioned, just after our call, Corona hit Europe. Probably changed a lot of things also regarding events and the impact on events at Bayer. What is the impact at your company?
So I think it's the same as everywhere. So we had no chance to actually meet live when it starts. And found solutions of how to still connect with our internal colleagues, but also external customers, and found solutions. But what we really learned is that all the elements you actually can use, or all the solutions, are already there. Right, so it is more about find the right ones and then combine them to reach the group you want to talk to.
Yeah. So, and obviously, at first, online events was the only possibility. Meanwhile, live is also restricted, possible, and in between there's hybrid. What is the status at this point at Bayer? Do you all three concepts? Or focusing on one or two?
Yeah, so let's talk about hybrid. We did hybrid already in earlier times,
Of
so
course.
it's also not a new model,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
we did that for big events when we actually needed to reach all our employees in the countries, and then actually did hybrid points and put them together. So that's not new. But what we are actually doing is often online meetings. And for the rest of the year, this is the case, and
Wow.
that's what we are doing.
Yeah,
And let's see what happens next year. But this is actually the focus.
yeah.
And there are opportunities to meet in person for sure, but it's not. Yeah, it's mainly online.
Yeah, and that's what we heard before today. Especially at large corporates, there it's normally a general measure, no events up till moment X. So it's also at Bayer the case. You told me you organized the first online stakeholders meeting in Germany.
Yeah, right.
That
So
sounds like a nouveauté.
yes, it was the first of a DAX, company. So yes, in Germany. Yes, we had 4.5 weeks to organize that, and yeah, so it was hard to organize it, but we worked together with the partners we chose beforehand already, and started to share and stream the event from our BACOM, our communication center.
Okay.
So there was a good chance to do so,
Yeah.
and we had only 6 people in the room, and shared then the whole content with the world. It
All
was
right.
it was actually partly the same we always did, but surely without live,
Yeah,
presence.
so new in that way. And what was the main learning for you in your position, referring to that stakeholders meeting?
So that you can actually, at the end of the day, reach even more people. That was a big learning.
Okay, interesting.
That you need to have a really great team behind you. So the teams you work with when you have a live meeting are more or less the same. You can use if you go with a streaming, right? You just need to more focus on TV. Let's say opportunities. It's a little bit a different way of how to organize such a meeting than having it live, for sure, because you need to think about the pictures you create and you share, right? So
Yeah.
there is more thoughts behind. Even if you did it before, it's more now. Yeah, it's more intense.
All right, so, and maybe this question is already answered, but what is your takeout from the last months if you look back from March up to now?
I think that we are much more often able to focus on sustainability and diversity by doing online meetings, right?
Okay.
Or even hybrid ones, because you can reach the people you normally don't reach that are not able to travel with such solutions. That's a big learning.
Interesting one.
Also not new, but something you actually can focus on more. And not everybody needs to travel. That's also really important to know, to see, and save a lot of time, right? So you will save a lot of time, but we also know that life will come back and will be possibly and for sure more intense. So there will be less meetings, but they will be more intense.
Okay, well, that's great to hear. That's a relief from your side.
Yeah.
And do you have a final message, maybe towards clients, like persons in your position on corporate side or on client side?
I think it's important to empower our colleagues working in that field and give them the opportunity to change if the job changes and find solutions for the actual situation. So change is also always a chance that will help you to evolve.
Yeah, and I can imagine that, especially referring to internal communication, so the connection with your employees and with your team, especially that part seems particularly hard by online events. Normally, you need even the live encounter with your employees and your team for creative processes or for involving.
Sure. So in our team, we actually do meet already 40% of the time in the office.
Yeah.
So we come back.
Yeah.
So there is the opportunity to do so already. But it was, I'm not sure how it was for you, but I think it was great to see that it worked out really well to still connect at that time, at that extreme times, and go with, these online meetings.
Yeah.
So it was good to know, but it is also really visible that you at a certain point need to be live together again.
Yeah,
sure.
True. Thanks, Ulrike. Let's see if there are some questions from the audience. Robert, can you tell us?
Yes, hi Ulrike, it's Robert here, representing the voice of the audience. First of all, we just listened to how to boost creativity, but if I look to your office, you have a very creative office. I see all those batches of previous events and yellow puppets, so that's a very nice environment. So there's a few questions from the audience, and they're asking, for instance, what is the best online event that you recently engaged in? And of course, you can mention a buyer event, but maybe it's nice to mention something else.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So there are a lot going on, right? So, and I'm not sure if I actually visited the most impressive ones, right? Because I was focused on content.
Yeah.
All the ones I saw were not too bad, to be honest. I saw, I'm not sure if you know the German Convention Bureau in Germany. They did also a hybrid solution meeting. I like this a lot. There were really good ideas in, and there are much more, so I can't actually tell all of them.
Yeah.
So that's hard to say, to be honest.
So if I summarize, you're quite impressed by the quality of online events that you've seen recently. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
You also will find a lot that are not that big and good, for sure. But the ones, so I think the main learning is they can't change from the live event they normally organize to the online one. They need to change the complete structure. And a lot of them do that. So there is already a big learning in.
Yeah. It's great to hear how positive you are about those online sessions and what you can learn from it. Last question, of course, the question that everyone wants to see answered is, when do you expect live events to be back?
That's a good question. As I already said, we for sure won't start completely before beginning of next year. And to be honest, I can't say when it starts again. There is so much open questions. Let's see what happens during the next weeks and months. We don't know whether we can start again in January. It's possibly even longer, right? So I can't answer that, to be honest.
I won't push you to make any uncomfortable predictions, so don't worry. I already told you that you have a very inspiring office. We also asked the audience up front to make pictures of how they are located at the moment. And somebody is asking, as we speak, what was the email address that we can send the picture to? So please allow me to briefly elaborate to that. So that's info@ideaonline.nl. I repeat, info@ideaonline.nl. Sorry, Ulrike, but this is also part of the engaging part, but I hope you understand. Thank you so much.
No problem. So that's my home office.
Thank you, Ulrike. Thanks again for your contribution to the Experience Conference today. And I would say stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope to see you soon.
Yeah, I hope to see you soon too. Bye-bye.
Bye.